Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of This Week in Niche Pursuits News. I'm Spencer here, and I've got my co-host with me, Jared. How you doing?
Good. Good to see you, Spencer.
It's good to be here. You know, we've got another fun-filled day here of topics. Got some news topics to cover here. It seems like the world of AI is never ending in its changes, and so we've got. Gosh, are all three of our subjects all related to AI? I think they are.
They are.
In different ways, and so we'll share that. And then we're going to talk about our shiny object shenanigans. Both of us are working on the same side hustle, if you will, and so people that listen to our show regularly will know what that is. But I'll just tease it. That people can listen in to hear what our shiny objects are that we're working on. And then we are going to also talk about one weird niche site that each of us have found in the wild that, we'll cover that are kind of fun.
I've got a surprise for you today, Spencer. I'm going to throw you off when we get to one weird niche. Let me just put it this way. It's going to fly in the face of the concept of one weird niche. So I'll tease you. I'll leave you with that.
All right. Okay. Listeners, be on the edge of your seat for that.
That's something to stick around for.
Absolutely. Stick around. So let's jump into it. Let's cover the news.
Before we jump into the podcast, I wanted to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Search Intelligence. Here's a short clip of Ferry from Search Intelligence showing you how their agency built digital PR links to a client's website.
This campaign got us big links in websites such as Lifehacker, Wales Online, Daily Record, and about 20 other news websites. Let me show you how we've done it. We knew that people will be flying a lot this summer, and we knew that journalists will be writing about this topic a lot. So, on behalf of our client, we put together a nice guide about how to fall asleep on the plane. Then we use MuckRack to find journalists who write about travel. Then we put our advice in a nice email and send the tips to the journalists. Within just a few days, the links started landing, securing our client natural placements in really big websites, just like this, and this. This is a great example about how you can leverage seasonal trends to earn links to a website. Anticipate what journalists want to write about at all times and give them the stories that they need. They will reward you with some great, juicy links. I hope this is helpful.
If you want similar link building PR campaigns for your website, head to search-intelligence.co.uk and get in touch with them now.
Now, breaking news, just as I was doing the intro, Jared, you kind of stealthily reminded me that we should probably talk about this Google Core update that we did talk about when it just started last week. And so now it's been about a week, right? And they say it takes about 2 weeks for these things to fully roll out.
We're only 5 months in on doing these news podcasts, and I finally figured out how to communicate with you while we're doing it live.
Luckily, I have two screens over here, and out of the corner of my eye.
That's the first time that's ever happened before where we've actually communicated about this. Yeah, so we have a core update, and we did promise last week that we'd kind of update the results of what happened. I think the day that the podcast of last week went live, which was Friday, was the day that most people started seeing results from the podcast and from the core update. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Certainly, I've seen some fluctuations across various client sites and some of the sites that we kind of own and operate, some of the niche sites we run.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just pulling up my Google Search Console. If people are wondering what I'm looking at over here. So for my main site, Niche Pursuits, I don't see like a major fluctuation. Things do appear slightly lower than last week, but last week was also a record week, so it's like I don't know. It's like one of those things I'd like to wait really until it's finalized.
Major. Yeah,
nothing major that I'm seeing. I am seeing an uptick on another one of my smaller sites. I do see definitely more impressions coming in, but overall, I guess maybe I could look at my third site, one that I've had for about 10 years.
Oh wow!
No major changes, if anything, on this one. Maybe slightly up on this final site that I'm looking at. So no big fluctuations for me. I have seen some chatter, and I didn't come prepared with some screenshots, but I have seen a couple of fairly devastating looking screenshots that have been shared.
I went and dove into it on, I think it was Saturday last week, because I did see some movement. None of the movement on any of the bigger sites that we either manage, work on, or own, none of the movement that was big happened on any of those sites. It was all on our smaller sites, like, sites that were getting a couple hundred page views a day. And one of those had a 150% upswing. Another site had like a 15% downswing and stuff. So I did look in analytics to try to. I still have UA on some of these sites, so it's like a dream to go in. It's almost like you're doing it just because you still can in many ways. But I did go in and look at some of the site that had the huge increase. I did look at the site that had some decreases. I couldn't find any necessary correlations in terms of topics or article types or anything like that. So. Don't want to overanalyze it until the update's done, because just as soon as you get excited about that 150% increase, a week and a half into the update, it could be gone. So, yeah, but definitely seen a lot of movement from not only some of our sites, but chatter and people sharing, screenshots and stuff.
Right. Yeah, so I haven't seen any analysis in terms of, what types of sites have been impacted or what this update might be all about. And when Google says it's a Google Core update, it's just a general broad update, so it might be hard to pinpoint what exactly is going on. But next week, it should have completed rolling out, and so maybe we'll have some more final analysis to share at that point. So, okay, so in the world of AI, one thing that is interesting is that we talk about it all the time, especially as we're doing these news segments. I mean, it feels like we're talking about ChatGPT almost every single week. Yeah. But the reality is that a lot of people in the US and elsewhere have never used or even heard of ChatGPT, even still, right? And so there was a recent study here on Search Engine Journal. At least they talked about this this study by Pew Research that shows that 18%, I should say only 18% of Americans have used ChatGPT so far. 18%, that's 1 in 5, less than 1 in 5 have even used ChatGPT. And only 19% think chatbots will substantially impact their job. And 67% want more government regulations on AI tools, chatbots. And so that was kind of a little bit shocking to me, is that I certainly would have thought that maybe more than 1 in 5 had actually used ChatGPT, but I don't know. I guess that's where we're at.
Another stat that they listed, and Pew does a really good job on these, so it's not like some SEO went out and did this research. Not that it would be bad, but Pew Research is quite a reputable, kind of above board, like really well reputed research company. And so this is one of the stats I thought was weird, because I was kind of like you, Spencer. I'm like, well, maybe we live in this AI bubble, we live in this AI world, and so that 18% of Americans have used ChatGPT. Maybe that's just because we're so in it that it doesn't seem normal to us. But then there was a stat down in the article that said roughly 24% of Americans who are aware of ChatGPT have used it. And that means that, like, not only you can take that out of the equation of maybe the people aren't hearing about it. People are hearing about it, and only 1 in 4, less than 1 in 4, are even bothering to be concerned enough or affected enough by it to even go bother trying it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can't remember if it was here on one of these calls where we looked at Google Trends.
Yeah, it was. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, and so I just pulled this up just now again, right? Just to remind people that, man, ChatGPT, okay, that is just for the past day. Is that right? Wow. Okay, past 12 months. Let's look at that.
There it is.
Right? It just out of the box, boom, right? And then sort of peaked in April, and now like people are like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. it's declined even more since a couple weeks ago when we talked about it.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Take what you will from this news, but a lot of people out of the gate. There was a lot of interest. A lot of people tried it out, used it, but still, over 80% of Americans have never tried it, and seeing the trends of less and less interest, that number is not likely to increase.
Yeah, the flip side is, people have always said AI is more of a revolution. It's going to take time to truly make its way into the current culture. So this doesn't necessarily mean that like AI, ChatGPT as an AI bot is going away or anything, but just that perhaps the initial buzz and the initial hoopla that you're looking at on the screen there in terms of the interest spikes that happened in the first 3 to 4 months maybe aren't withstanding as it's aged.
So what is the last thing you used ChatGPT for? And when's the last time you used it, Jared?
I used it this morning, and it didn't work for me. I tried to use the Wolfram plugin to normalize some data. We basically got some results back from a survey, but the data was all like, there were variations of data, and we just needed it all to be the same. So it was a very simple task. Imagine if like you could identify different colors, and one was red, and another person said dark red. So I asked it to make all reds red, make all blues blue, make all yellows yellow. So I have it normalized data, and it couldn't handle it.
It was too complex for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So.
All right.
But that was this morning.
I was just testing you to see if you're an active user. So very good. My writers use it all the time. I just used it 2 days ago, I guess. I don't think I used it yesterday, but
I don't know about you, but there's like some weeks where I use it a lot, and some weeks where I probably use it once or twice. It comes and goes.
Yep, definitely goes in spurts. I've got a process now where, like I said, my writers are using it probably every day. But yeah, I'm the same, where it's like, okay, 2-3 times a week, maybe it's like, this would be a great job for ChatGPT to help me out with.
Here's I know this is not what we're talking about today, but cool story. I will tell you a success story for ChatGPT. Last night, my wife and I were sitting around talking after the kids went to bed about, hey, wouldn't it be nice to get away? And, our typical getaway is a couple-hour flight when we get around to doing that, blah, blah, blah. And we started talking about, where could we go that's a little further? And so I actually just pulled out ChatGPT and I said, hey, our home flight base is San Diego. List off every place I can get within 8 hours on a flight, including layovers, including stopovers from San Diego.
That's a good idea.
And it was really interesting to see and really got our minds going in terms of, oh, man, I didn't know we could get there and all this kind of stuff. So that was a pretty cool use for it last night.
Yeah. Oh, very good. I like it. Creative.
Yeah.
So next up is more AI-related topics. So we've talked a lot about, I think even last week, we talked about the Google Search Generative Experience, about how they had been testing out these the little caret symbol that you could click on, and it would expand and show a website that you could click through, and you could get traffic to your blog or website. So apparently, just yesterday? It looks like. Google
Last
Search
night.
Generative Experience officially rolls out links to web pages within answers. So I guess they're officially saying that they've adopted this this UI, right? So here I expanded this image that people can see that was shared in the article, right, where you've got the little caret that you can expand. And I think I demoed this last week.
Yeah.
But now it's official. It looks like they've gone through a bunch of different iterations, and they've landed on this. And as of yesterday, they are officially rolling this out within the U.S.
Japan and India next.
And then that's what I was going to look up. Yeah, Japan and India coming over the coming weeks. This will be rolling out. And what's kind of cool about this is that, we've been following this pretty closely for a while. And so it was only a month ago, August 1st, where we had this headline of Google testing links directly in search generative experience snapshot answers. So as a reminder for people, it used to be, hey, they tried something with the website name that you could click on. They tried something that looks more like this. They had quotes.
I wanted to hear what you were going to say for that.
I don't know how to explain that. I guess multiple websites within one answer is what that was. And then, the quotes, which I really did not like, because who thinks that you're supposed to click a quotation mark? I don't think anybody. And then they, where we're at today, they've kind of landed on this experience. So I'm very happy about this. I expressed that last week. I think this is going to send more traffic to our websites.
I think it's almost, if you've been listening to the news, at least for me, I feel like we've been talking about it so much, like you said, that it almost feels like an announcement that we foresaw coming from the last couple weeks of what they've been testing and what we've been seeing. But this is a big deal because it means it's official. And yes, they could change it down the road. We know they change their algorithm constantly. They could change this, but clearly, thank goodness, something in their testing and in the data that they got back from machine learning at scale said that users prefer this, right? Mm-hmm. The only other reason they would be doing it is because it makes more money, but we haven't seen ads in the beta of it yet. So it seems to me that it kind of has to be based on user data, and that tells me that users like knowing where their content is coming from. And so not only is it really encouraging for just the SGE experience in general, but I think it's encouraging for where AI is fitting into our role as publishers. I might be making a little bit of a stretch there, but that's what we do here, right? We can speculate a bit. And I just think it's encouraging that perhaps users have spoken this month, which is why we have these this attribution in the SGE.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they certainly are following the data. And this is the user experience that is working. They do mention, ads. Ads will remain to be seen in the dedicated spots in the SGE AI-generated answer interfaces. So for certain queries, you do see ads, and other queries you don't. That's great. I think it's nice to have some normalcy. Maybe, hopefully, this is what sticks, and we can kind of expect that and not have this big question mark of, okay, am I going to get traffic from SGE? What's it going to look like? Hopefully this is how it looks and feels and how it works going forward.
So when do we start seeing this sort of information in, say, an Ahrefs? Because they tell you when you have a featured snippet. Are they going to now put a carrot icon there when I have a carrot, like when I'm part of the SGE? Or, obviously we don't know, but that's an interesting thing to start to think about. Do I now get to start to track when I land inside of SGE carousels, and what does that do for my traffic, and how do I start to learn how to optimize for it? So some big questions that can start to come out of this.
Right. It will be coming, whether it's in Ahrefs, Google Search Console. There definitely is going to be all sorts of analysis, and that'll be coming soon. I don't know how soon, but it'll happen.
Yep. Agreed.
All right, so the final news topic that we wanted to cover here today is about Reddit. So Reddit has launched an AI-powered keyword research tool. And so Reddit, you can run ads on Reddit. And through their Reddit Ads Manager, they now have a keyword suggestions feature, right? So they gave a screenshot here of this, where you can go in, you can, maybe you start with a keyword, and then it gives you a bunch of AI suggested results. I haven't actually seen it in action other than that one screenshot, but I assume that's kind of how it works, right?
It says it uses machine learning to generate relevant keywords. So maybe you put in like a seed topic, and then it gives you keywords that based on monthly Reddit views while filtering out unsuitable content.
Yeah.
So I guess it's somewhat of a keyword research tool, even though it's really masked to some degree behind an ad platform of sorts.
Right. Yeah, which I as we know, that's how Google does it. They've got their Google Keyword Planner where you go in and you type in a bunch of keywords. And of course, they've evolved quite a bit from where it used to just spit out a big list of keywords. It's kind of works a little bit differently now, but the fundamental idea is there. And I have not tested this out. This is something that maybe everybody can use this. Do you have to actually have an ad account? Is it free? Right? If it's free, maybe it's kind of an interesting tool to use that can help you find SEO keywords to target. Even though it's not an SEO tool, maybe you can go in there and get some good ideas of things that are getting a lot of traffic on Reddit that you can then kind of port over to your website and use.
Yeah, there's multiple ways it would seem to use this. First off, if you want to kind of maximize the Reddit platform for whatever reason, maybe to make your brand larger, to send traffic to your website, to become a bit of an influencer on there, whatever it is, looks like now you finally have some sort of machine learning data in front of you. But to that point that you said, Spencer, like a lot of us have known to go to Reddit to pull topics, or at least go look at topics that Reddit is ranking for, because if Reddit's ranking, often that means that Google is ranking user-generated content, and they tend to prefer authoritative sources for topics rather than user-generated content. So sometimes if you find a good keyword in Reddit, it could give you ideas for what to write about on your blog to rank in Google.
Yeah. So this is something that we need to go and check out. Maybe this is our homework for the week.
I agree.
Let's go see if we can use this and see if it's worthwhile. If anybody does try it out, let us know. We'd love to know your experience with that.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to hear, because we're only going to look at it from our perspective, our niches, our whatever. So anybody who's used it or is going to use it, maybe post a note on the feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, I think that takes us to our next segment here, where we talk about our shiny object projects. These are just, of course, side hustles that we have going on outside of our main business, just things that we either do for fun or maybe we're trying to grow and make some money. I guess that's always the idea, is that we hope they become much more than just a side hustle, right?
Both fun and money.
Fun and money, exactly. The things we do for entertainment around here. So I will go first, and as I teased in the beginning, I think we're going to cover the same thing here. So I am still working at the Amazon Influencer program, and I've decided to try and ramp up the number of videos that I've been publishing.
Okay.
And what is new and unique, and I think this is the first time ever in my business, if my memory serves me correct, that I have hired somebody local in person that lives in my city.
Whoa.
I don't believe that I have ever done that. I'm thinking back all the way through 2011 when I quit my job. Have I ever hired anybody in person? Nobody's coming to mind.
No.
I apologize if somebody that I hired in my town is listening, and I totally forgot about you.
But there, so.
Yeah. So I hired not one, not two, not three, but four people that live in my city to help me record product review videos. And part of this is because there's some incentives with Amazon right now to publish some more videos. So I'm going to try and get that in quickly. But also long term, I think it just makes a lot of sense if either I'm getting free product from other brands, right? If I can have them ship it to my location, it's very easy. If somebody lives in my city, I can just hand it to them. I don't have to ship all over. And so I may try some of that, try to get some free product. Or if I've got product here at my house, it's very easy to hand that to a neighbor, right, that's going to then record the video. So that's why I'm doing it. I am wanting to ramp up and scale, especially in preparation for fourth quarter. But long term, I'm just seeing opportunity. I think the math all still works out. If I hire people to record videos, I still can eke out a profit here, and I can just manage the business. And so that's basically what I wanted to share. I'm still stuck at about 374 total videos, I think is what I looked at this morning. So I've kind of been roughly at that number, it feels like, for almost a month now. And so it'll be good to start ramping up and publishing a lot more videos. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know if you have any follow-up questions for me, Jared, but that's what I wanted to share.
And I'm pulling up my number right now because you made me think I didn't check before. Okay, there. I have it for when we talk.
Okay.
The old model, and maybe this is still the model, but I know the old model that you were working off of was hiring someone and saying, hey, you just record stuff that you already own that's in your house. Will these people you hired locally still be doing that, or will it be more of this, hey, come pick up a ton of product or come pick up stuff that I've sourced for you to review?
So they will do both. They are going to start with everything in their house. I figure that's going to get them a couple months down the road, and then I'll have things figured out better, right? I'll either have a stash of product that I can get them. I do have a number of products already here at my house that I have divvied out. Some videos that they can do here in the next few weeks. And then, like I said, a couple of months they'll record in their own house. And then I've kicked the can down the road to decide, okay, how am I going to get them even more products? But
be careful. I mean, I could see a couple months from now and you have a garage full of stuff and Mrs. Hawes is a little frustrated.
Yeah, we won't go into all the details, but I've already kind of broached that subject a little bit, and I'm getting some pushback already. So
it's okay. We don't want us to come here for marital talk, but yeah, no, that seems smart because I haven't dove into it at all on my side of the influencer, but from people I've talked to, like you get offered a decent amount of product without even trying, and so I'm going to be curious to just see if you decide to go down the road of actually somewhat pursuing getting brands to send you product or purchasing product for that specifically, kind of how you do that, how it goes. So I think that'll be really interesting to watch that unfold.
Yeah, like I said, it's really early on. I have had 2 different brands send product my way in the past. And then, yes, I've looked at purchasing product, trying to do the math of like, okay, if I get this many commissions, is it going to pay for the $25 purchase or whatever it might be, right? So I've kind of run some of those numbers as well. And so, yeah, we'll keep chatting and I'll keep sharing. So.
Good. Very good. Well, yeah, I'm talking Amazon Influencer today as well. It's been a long summer, of vacations and I was telling you before we started recording, like there's just been kids running around the house and, it's kind of hard to find good time to make the videos, certainly in the last month or so. I'm kind of like you. I really either hadn't published anything for a good month there, or if I had, it was very minimal. But I got back on the video production horse this past week, and I hit a personal record for a number of videos recorded in a 7-day period. So from last week, when we recorded, I hadn't recorded a video in a month or so. And since last week, 7 days later, I have recorded 122 videos.
122 videos.
122.
Now,
and they're all submitted, bringing us to a total of 510 videos live. Because you and I must have been neck and neck there.
We were very close for a long time. But you have quickly surpassed me, making me look bad.
Yeah, I put a good dent in. I think you're gonna have a that's a good hill to climb now.
It is. I got a lot of catching up to do. Man, maybe we should bet something first to 1,000. I don't know what we have to do on the podcast or something. Leave a comment if there's something you want to see Jared and I, risk put on the line
versus
here.
Goliath here. You've got an army of 4 people recording, but I'm scrappy and I can just knuckle. I don't know.
Yeah. So now, did you do all of these? I know in the past you've had somebody help you out.
Yeah, Caitlin's been traveling this past week, so she's not even in her office and. I did. Not shameless plug, but if you didn't listen to last week's episode, I kind of outlined some of the strategy behind how I was going to go about recording a lot of videos this week, and I'll say it worked really, really well. And so I will say this is probably the most organized I've been in my approach to recording. I'm not saying I'm not organized because I do have like a spreadsheet and stuff, but the organization from this past week was a cut above. So, and that really helped a lot. So. Encouragement to people, I suppose it's to each their own, but for me, I really benefited from really being super organized. And if you're wondering, I I did keep track, and so it took me under 10 hours to do those 122 videos.
Is that right?
So I was averaging with recording and uploading just under 5 minutes per video is what it came out to.
Wow.
So
that's very impressive.
And, a lot of that's that organization, and a lot of it's the process I outlined last week. Because of that process, like I was almost going through a formula, video over video. So it was agonizing. Like I felt like I was saying so much of the same stuff, but it really was the right approach to take because each video on its own had that structure to it. So listen last week if you want to get those insights, to that exact process. But suffice to say, there was a process behind it that really allowed me to get so many done.
So how many are you going to do this week?
I don't even want to look at the back of my phone this week. But I'm going to try to keep it the momentum. I'll put it out. Okay. I'm going to do 30 or 40 this week.
All right. Wow.
It is a holiday weekend here. We're traveling a bit. That'll put a dent in it. So, let's say 30 or 40. I'll give myself a target.
That's very good. Man, you are going to be hard to catch. All right.
We going to 1,000?
First one to 1,000.
All right. How about we'll take the best, most reasonable idea for a wager in the comments below.
There you go. I like reasonable.
It's got to be reasonable. Can't be outlandish. I don't need to shave my head or anything, but something good here. Maybe we can come up with something.
All right. Yeah. I would like to hit 1,000. I'd like to hit a couple thousand videos, right? Like, why not? Let's go to the moon if we can make it work.
Just by your math, just for people who haven't listened, like I think, what was the number you were saying? I think the minimum that you were seeing was about 20 cents per image per day, if I remember correctly.
Right around that. Mm-hmm.
You should probably better prepare for these things, but anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm a little lower than that.
Yeah.
But
that makes the math nice, though, because that's $200 a day.
Mm-hmm.
In earnings at 1,000 videos, and that would be a $6,000 months with probably swelling and times of high purchase like Prime Day and Q4 and stuff. So that's 1,000 videos is a lot, but so is $6,000 a month. So it's a good number.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see where it goes. I'm probably thinking about this too much for like the percentage of my business that this is, right? It's a side hustle, right? It's like this tiny little sliver of my revenue is from Amazon influencer, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun.
This was the first week where I was like 10 hours. That's probably not the right number of hours to spend on it. I've always said a couple a week, and so 10 felt, to be clear. I don't think that's going to happen again anytime soon.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of got this special Amazon deal happening, and it makes sense to crank out a bunch. And so I'm hoping we'll see the 4 people I hired. I expect them to be submitting their very first videos today.
Okay.
Because I just had them over at my house last night. Sat them all down,
Man.
The 5 of us in a room.
Yeah, in-person training and everything.
In-person training. And I like pulled up the Amazon app and like showed them how you can like take pictures of stuff. And it was cool. It was fun. It was like, nobody's ever seen, more than just my head and shoulders.
Waist down, we have no idea, Spencer.
Yeah.
Aside from every 5 years a marathon photo of you that pops out there. I mean, you could be.
That's true. You could find me if you look for my marathon pictures, but don't usually show that to my employees, just if you're in person. So
you got to be live in Boston for that.
Yeah. So
I hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. Just wanted to take a short break and remind you that today's episode is sponsored by Search Intelligence. I've got a short clip from Ferry at Search Intelligence showing you how their agency built digital PR links to a client's website.
This is how we landed massive links for our client in The Sun, a DR90 website, and many other UK news websites. We have used freely available data from YouGov to simply find out what the nation's favorite car brand is and which brands people love the most. Of course, Rolls-Royce came out on top, Aston Martin second, and Jaguar third. We put these insights in a short email and sent it to journalists that write about cars and to national news desks on behalf of our client. Within a few days, our client got featured in all the Suns, as well as many regional newspaper sites in the UK, gaining DR90 links to their leasing comparison website. YouGov website is full of unlimited PR stories with data already available for free. All you have to do is to start researching their data and start asking the data questions. You will be surprised of the unlimited PR campaigns that you will find there that can help you build massive exposure and links to your or your clients' websites. I hope this video is helpful and inspirational.
Are you looking for similar link building PR campaigns for your website? If so, just go to search-intelligence.co.uk and get in touch with them today.
Very good. Let's move on to our final subject of the day here, which is our weird niche sites. We're going to talk about a weird niche site that both of us have found. Maybe I'll go ahead and go first here. So I found kind of an interesting site that it's actually getting more traffic than I thought. When I first was playing around with this site, I was like, certainly not that many people are visiting it, and there's no search traffic really to speak of when I pull it up in Ahrefs. But there's a decent amount of traffic, according to. Well, I'll jump into what SimilarWeb says, but let me just reveal the site here for you. So it is languageguesser.com. So languageguesser.com is what it is. And it's just like a little game. I played it before the podcast started. It's kind of fun. And it's got a leaderboard, so I'll lead with that. As you can see, who's got the highest score today, the highest score this week, and all time. Okay, and I think, well, all that I can see on the homepage is you can either play the classic or infinite game, and when you click this, okay, I guess I didn't realize you could select like the number of rounds and difficulty, right? So let's make it easy. And okay, Niche King was my name, so let's do that again. And it basically plays a YouTube video. This one actually has words on it. It looks like that, and I would sit here and I would listen and I would try to think, okay, what language are they singing in? And I haven't really listened to this, but based on the writing, let's see what can we guess here. Maybe Slavic?
I was going to say Swedish.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, man, look at you.
So I got
How'd you get that?
Well, I don't know. I got some in the back of my head. I know what Slavic looks like.
That's impressive.
And so then you go to the next one.
Awesome.
Okay, and then, and you that looks like maybe some sort of Russian character, right?
Yeah,
so I'd guess Russian. Okay, well, there you go.
Oh my gosh, you are good at this.
I'm amazing.
How are you not on the leaderboard?
Well, I haven't played long enough. After this podcast, I'll play more. But like that is the whole website. There's nothing else I can do. What is interesting is that I don't see any display ads.
I do.
Is there?
There one. Right there.
There we go. You're right.
Just one.
Okay.
Just one. No.
I don't think there was one on the game.
No, I don't think. I think the game was. I think it's only the landing page, maybe.
Yeah. When you select there, and that they've got Twitter following. Oh, it wants me to promote it. Okay, I thought it was gonna Anyways, so kind of a fun website. And so, like I said, if we come over here to Ahrefs, like almost no traffic, 598 traffic from search, right? Like it's probably people typing in the domain name itself. Like if I go to organic keywords, I bet it's language guesser. Okay, guess the language guesser, right? So it's pretty much direct traffic. And then if you come over here to SimilarWeb, it shows that 224,000 visitors a month.
Wow.
Which was shockingly high
Yeah.
for what I thought. After I looked at Ahrefs, I was like, it's not going to be anybody. Looks like it's increased quite a bit over the last couple of months for some reason.
I was going to say, I wonder why.
795% change. Oh, interesting. So I did find it on a certain website that I won't share because that's a source of a lot of my weird niche sites.
Still won't tell me.
So no, I can't, because then where am I going to find my sites if you know
get
where
it.
I'm finding? Yeah.
Got to keep your
so
water and hold of yourself.
Exactly. So maybe that's why there's a big bump. It made it onto this particular website, and that got a bunch of visitors. But it's where's my breakdown of traffic? I guess that was maybe these big bubbles was it. Social media networks, search engines. Oh, that's categories. I got to keep going. There we go. Oh, that's weird. It says organic traffic.
Yeah, I mean, I won't tease mine, but when we get to mine, it has some very similar, confusing, similar web versus Ahrefs sort of stuff. That's interesting.
Maybe everybody's typing in language guesser, and this month, right? And it's just getting a ton.
Well, maybe to your point, it takes keyword tools like Ahrefs a while to catch up with something that is like a hit right now, and SimilarWeb's showing this massive spike right now. So maybe the keyword data hasn't caught up with the true search volume.
That's a good point. Yeah, that could definitely be it. So it's kind of a fun game. So if I were to think about how can I improve this site or how can I make more money from this site, I could see this almost being like an app, like a game that you just have on your phone, right? When you're bored, you pull it up. And so I don't see a mobile version of this. So I'd create like a mobile version that's on the App Store. When I think about Wordle or other little games that are getting millions of downloads, this could maybe be one of those just kind of fun things. Like, oh, you share with your friends. Can you get this one? My score is 30 for the day. What are you going to get? So
I could see gamifying it. Spencer, you could earn badges. Like maybe you're a Russian language specialist. You get all the you're 100% when Russian pop videos come on.
Your weakness is Albanian.
Yeah, Albanian. You're for everything on that.
You need to work on that, right? Hire a coach or something.
It could break down like the regions of the world that you specialize in. Like you need to work on your South American region, and I don't know. I mean, as cheesy as it sounds, stuff like that really does gamify and oftentimes increases engagement, and people have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. So I was playing on easy, so maybe I'll try around in hard, next time. And
what would hard be? I guess Antarctic.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Well, here's the languages, but from what I can see, there's no words on the screen, right?
Yeah.
So I have to actually listen, for one thing. But
I can imagine like a rap video in a different language would be pretty hard to pick up.
Yeah, it's interesting though that they're using some sort of smart technology to blur out, the title. These are all just YouTube videos, obviously, right? That they're blurring out the title so you can't see any words. But it looks like I can click on it if I want to cheat.
Yeah.
Right. I can go over to the YouTube page.
I mean,
and
seriously,
see what that is, so
who knows? Could this be the next Wordle, or could it, if somebody put time and effort in, it be the next Wordle?
Maybe so. Maybe
New
so.
York Times buys languageguesser.com 2024.
I mean, that seems like a New York Times type thing. They do their crossword puzzles. They do Wordle. They do all sorts of things related to language. So why not?
Good find. Very good find. That's a fun one.
Thank you. All right, Jared, what do you got for us?
Well, it's pretty simple, Spencer. I just, you can boot it up and show it to everyone. IsItChristmas.com. When we talk about simple websites, this website is comprised of 5 total words. And it's isitchristmas.com. And let me ask you a question right now. Today, Spencer, is it, you can answer this yourself. Is it Christmas?
Well, let me check what the website says. No, it's not Christmas.
Unfortunately, we can't get a different result until, I'm going to imagine, Christmas. I don't think we're recording on that day either. We're going to have to...
I keep refreshing, and it's nothing. It's still a no.
I'm kidding. That's not my weird niche of the day. Although I do think that qualifies, but there's really not much to talk about here.
It's a fun one for sure. I love it. It's just no. I mean, is it just black letters that says yes? I mean, maybe you come on Christmas and it's a whole experience. I don't know.
See if I can remember. Christmas is a pretty crazy day around here. I'm going to see if I can remember to to come on Christmas and see if I can get a screenshot.
Someone remind us. Reach out on Twitter or YouTube.
Yeah.
And, on
Maybe
Christmas.
we would be lucky and archive.org grabbed a snapshot on Christmas Day.
There you go. All right. What's your real one?
Okay. The real one is, following in the vein of some of the ones that you've had over the past, I feel like a couple weeks or maybe a couple of months. This is a bit of a tool, and it is wordunscrambler.com. And, when I first saw it, I thought this is kind of a gimmick. And then I started reading a little bit below the fold. And where this really becomes interesting is if you are a Scrabble player. And I'm sure there's other reasons too. But basically, what you do is you put in letters. It even has fields for wildcards. So you could get, like in Scrabble, a blank, right? I think you would use the wildcard, the star. And you put them in there, and it not only does it unscramble them into words for you and give you all the word options, but it will sort them in order of which ones have the highest point total in Scrabble. So you could just type in 7 arbitrary letters, and as long as it had some vowels and some consonants in there, Spencer, you can see that it will unscramble it for you and then prioritize it by which ones are going to score the highest there.
I don't know if that's any words. I just typed in really
There you
random.
go. So go down. You got an 8 score word there, which is code for 8
Down
points.
here. Okay.
I think they
Poster,
call it points in
presto.
Scrabble. So you can make
replays.
poster out of that. You could make tropes.
Oh, wow.
You can make resort out of that. And, if none of those worked, you can move on down and find a 7-point words. And they have, I don't know, probably 15 of them there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean...
Interesting.
If you're not watching, it's a very simple design. It's, I would not call it user-friendly.
Or beautiful.
I'm not even sure you knew that it actually gave you results, Spencer.
I did not. I didn't know exactly. I mean, the button is above where you, usually
I hit the same button you hit it
below.
first, which is why I thought it was amusing. Because I did the same thing. I thought maybe it was just me. It does have some, I guess we'll call it filters. And for whatever reason, you can change the font that it renders in for you. I don't know why that's valuable.
Make it. Yeah.
Here's the fun thing about it, I thought. I mean, obviously, if you're into Scrabble, like my mom would love this. But if you go over to Ahrefs, as you can imagine, it's not really a very popular website. It's a DR10. So you're not, you're not getting a ton of backlinks with this. But Ahrefs predicts that it has over 150,000 organic search visits per month.
Yeah.
And that is down from almost 1 million at one point in, I think I saw 2018 or 2019.
Yeah. Wow. So, it's definitely trend down, but still 153,000 visitors a month. Does it say, again, this is one of those that I would think is people typing it in. Yeah, word unscrambler.
It doesn't even rank number, maybe that's it. Maybe it's because it used to rank number 1 for that as a brand name, and now somebody came in. Look, it ranks number 3 now for word unscrambler. I wonder if it went from 1 to 3 for a lot of these terms here.
Maybe it's time to update the website.
Yeah.
Beyond the 1999 look of it.
It does have ads. I feel like it would be well worth the investment to update it. If it's getting anywhere near a couple 100,000 page views a month, I feel like it would be well worth modernizing the look and feel of it. It's basically a one-page website.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sorry, I'm just going over to the Google results. So I searched for word unscrambler, and there's wordunscrambler.me. Wordunscrambler.net, right? Word.tips, and then number 4 or 5 is the .com, and usually it's the other way around. And so, here's this website. I guess it's not that much more beautiful, but it's a little bit cleaner.
It does have text on it. I mean, it does have content. We'll call it 1,000 words of content.
Yeah,
below
exactly.
The fold there.
Yep. So that could be helping. It's probably more SEO friendly for
the
sure.
UI is also a lot better.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, this is interesting. I didn't see this until just now, but if you go back to the weird niche site that we had, the Word Unscrambler. Speaking of Wordle, look at that in the upper left there. You've
in
got
the upper left.
got links for
links
comics
directly to
and Wordle.
Wordle Solver.
Wordle Solver.
Oh, interesting.
And it has if
You can
go-
cheat at Wordle.
Yeah, you could cheat at Wordle.
Put in your yellow letters. That's just sad. Come
Isn't
on.
that terrible?
That takes all the fun out of the game.
Why would you want to play Wordle if you just want to go here and get it answered for you?
Yeah, it's like.
But I guess it's the same thing. Why would you want to play Scramble, Scrabble, if it unscrambles the word for you?
So this is for people that aren't very good at word games, that are willing to cheat.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. There we are. We're back.
We're back.
So the website may have some technical problems. I don't know.
Might also be why it's falling out of the Google's good graces.
It could be. So if you've created this website, I was just seeing if there's any more details, right?
I've got a proposal. If you create that website, let my agency split any future upside with you, and we'll handle the workload for you.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I feel like with that domain age and the fact that it's such a bad experience, we just, with a little bit of work, could get that at least 1 or 2 positions higher in Google.
Mm-hmm. And that's gonna, double your traffic again, at least. So,
right? Going from 3 to 2 or 3 to 1, I mean, that's such a different ballgame.
Different ballgame for sure. And then we were going to share the SimilarWeb
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
data on this one as well. And so I've got that pulled up. It was interesting because it only shows 181,000. Well, I guess that would be about right. If Ahrefs is showing 150,000
Yep.
organic searches. So maybe that's right. But then when we looked at traffic sources, we showed kind of the opposite here of it's showing that 80% is coming direct and only 17% organic.
It's got to be a way that SimilarWeb looks at, because we saw so much basically branded traffic, right?
Yeah.
When we looked at Ahrefs keywords, I wonder if basically SimilarWeb is saying, yeah, that's direct.
Maybe so. It could be.
And they're just categorizing a little bit differently.
Yeah. But interesting nonetheless. I mean, almost 200,000 visitors a month on kind of a clunky looking website. Hopefully they're making a little bit of money.
Imagine a couple $1,000 a month.
Yeah. But definitely a interesting niche site.
For something that you built clearly like 20 years ago, haven't touched since then, and doesn't have a lot of backlinks or press or, virality to it. I mean, I don't know, a couple $1,000 a month, pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, they've made some updates, right? They've got links to Wordle, which hasn't existed that long.
Yep.
Right?
We've got a crossword puzzle solver, it looks like. Spencer, it says right there, our old version is here. So apparently this is the new version.
Oh, well, we better check out the old version.
I don't even, it's got to break your computer.
So here's the old version.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like the old version better.
Yeah. There's a cartoon.
Andertoon.
I clicked on. I don't know. Well, it's broken. So this link takes you back to Word Unscrambler. I love it.
Interstitial. Good.
Well, there you go.
All right.
So good find. There's so many websites out there that we could be talking about and covering. That's a fun one for sure.
Just a final thought on it, but this is one of those that I've heard this strategy from several people. But if you have the time and the energy, like this is one of those where why not just pop an email off to the owner and say, hey, like, can I take that site off your hands for you? It doesn't look like it gets updated that much. I'd love to work on it. Can I make you an offer? How much would you want for it? And you just never know. Somebody could have forgotten they even owned the site at this point.
Yeah, that's what's cool is there's like so many sites out there. And I've heard a lot of stories of people reaching out to these old websites. They make an acquisition. The owner, the existing owner's happy. The new buyer's happy, and they're able to improve it, improve the UI, or just improve the technical SEO. And it's a win-win all around.
I just did an interview yesterday. I'm sure you haven't even heard it yet because it doesn't go live for a little while. We pre-record the interviews that go live on Wednesdays. And I won't spoil the story, but he reached out to somebody of a site he wanted to buy, and they were like, we don't want to sell. And he's like, okay, no problem. And then years later, they contacted him and said, okay, now we want to sell. And we looked your name back up.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. I'm going to listen to that.
You know what's going to come out of it.
Absolutely. So That's it. That's a wrap. That's what's going on this week in Niche Pursuits news. We covered, of course, the news, our side hustles, and now the Weird Niche site. Thanks everybody for listening in, following along. If you want to hear more and get all the updates for when the podcasts are coming out, of course, be sure to subscribe wherever you can. YouTube, any podcast app that you might have out there, or you can subscribe to the Niche Pursuits newsletter. You just go to nichepursuits.com/newsletter. I send out emails when these episodes come out, so you don't miss anything, along with other tips that I have as well. So just want to say thank you, everybody, for listening. Really appreciate it.
Have a great weekend.
Today's episode is sponsored by Search Intelligence. Here's a short clip of Ferry from Search Intelligence showing you how their agency built digital PR links to a client's website.
What a crazy campaign. How to sleep on your back. This campaign got us links in Huffington Post, Glamour magazine, Mirror, and lots of other great news publications. Let me show you how we've done it. It was so simple. Our sleep client provided us with expert commentary about how to train yourself to fall asleep on your back. They also gave advice on why it's best to sleep on your back. Once we've had this information, we went to Muckrack and searched for journalists that consistently write about sleep and well-being. We've sent these journalists the advice provided by the client, and within 1 day the links started flowing in. Glamour magazine, a DR81 website, picked it up. Huffington Post, DR88, Mirror UK, DR90. A massive avalanche of links blasted through our client's website with this simple yet effective campaign about how to sleep on your back. I hope this inspires, and I hope you'll use this technique to land massive links to your or your client's website.
Thanks for joining us today on the podcast. Just a final reminder that it was brought to you by Search Intelligence. And if you're looking for link building PR campaigns for your website, just head over to search-intelligence.co.uk and get in touch with them today. Cheers.